Mandate for Leadership, Project 2025's playbook, says that the enforcement of civil rights should be based on a proper understanding of those laws, rejecting gender ideology and critical race theory. Since Trump has taken office, he has redefined what the focus of the Office of Civil Rights is. Now, the Office of Civil Rights, OCR, was established in 1957 by the Civil Rights Act of 1957. The Office for Civil Rights within the Department of Education was established in 1972 to enforce civil rights laws prohibiting discrimination in federally funded educational programs. The focus was to prohibit discrimination in education programs and activities based on race, color, national origin, disability, age, or sex. Now, let's remember that Trump campaigned against DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, for creating anti-white feeling. And on his first day in office, he made it a priority of his administration to wipe out such initiatives, including purging DEI from the federal government and the military, threatening to strip billions of dollars in federal funding and grants from universities, and pressuring major corporations to roll back programs or risk losing federal contracts. He signed several executive orders eliminating and targeting DEI on a federal and public level. You see, Trump's interpretation of the Civil Rights Act favors a colorblind approach that rejects race-conscious initiatives such as DEI and seeks to eliminate the use of disparate impact theory in legal enforcement. His administration has moved to dismantle federal civil rights enforcement mechanisms and limit protections for marginalized groups, particularly transgender people, which leads us to the Department of Education. Its civil rights enforcement has prioritized cases that allege students of color and transgender students are getting unfair advantages. In August, the Department of Education determined that George Mason University violated federal civil rights laws by using race in hiring and promotion. White professors at George Mason University alleged in a complaint that GMU policies gave preferential treatment to prospective and current faculty from underrepresented groups to advance anti-racism. Acting Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights Craig Traynor alleged Washington implemented unlawful DEI policies that intentionally discriminate on the basis of race. The actions, the department said, violate Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act. The department's Office of Civil Rights said George Mason's president, Gregory Washington, a black man, should issue an apology to the university community as part of a proposed resolution agreement. It also called on the university to conduct trainings to ensure race is not used in any policy and revise policies as necessary. GMU is not the only university being investigated. The Department of Education's OCR office launched a probe at University of Virginia over alleged racial preferences in its admissions and what officials call a failure to completely cut DEI initiatives from the school. The probe resulted in its president, James E. Ryan, resigning. In August, the Department of Education said that it was pulling funding from 5 Northern Virginia school districts because officials said that they would not comply with a request to change policies supportive of transgender students. The Department of Education launched an investigation into the districts after a complaint was filed by America First Legal, a conservative group founded by White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. He really, really, really wants to be a Yahtzee. Like, if he isn't a neo Yahtzee, I'd be surprised. Okay. But they allege that the district's gender policies violated Title IX. These are just a few examples. The Trump administration's Department of Education is perverting the intent of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It's perverting the intent of all of the Civil Rights Acts, all of them. It's under the self-serving, misguided belief that white people are being discriminated against. Understand this. In the United States, the institution of whiteness is not being discriminated against. You see, the problem is that they had to sit through Obama and Biden's administration and watch people that they did not consider to be their equal gain political, social, and economic rights. They had to sit and watch people who defied the norm live out loud, and they felt as though some of their power was being taken away because Black, brown, indigenous, and transgender people had a seat at the table. And they wanted the table all to themselves.